Welcome. Welcome to the chat. How's it going, everyone? How are you doing today? I thought we'd do a nice little Sunday afternoon stream. It's been a while, a few months actually, since we've done any kind of development stream. Partly because I was busy working on a video game called Generation Exile, and we went into Steam Next Fest with a demo. So that basically lit everything on fire in my life. I also moved, hence the new background that you might have seen in the previous few videos. I've actually finally got the setup working. Let me know what you think. I think it looks a lot nicer than the previous one because the last room I had was not great. So I've put a little bit of work into making this look more visible. But yeah, so we have a video game live on Steam now. You can go play the demo. It's pretty rough because it came in quite hot, but we're very proud of it. And then you can wishlist the game. And this is what I'm doing in my day job. So just for any confusion out there, I'm working on 2 video games. Yeah, so full-time I'm working with a team on Generation Exile. We will be going into early access at some point in the next part of the year. We don't have a fixed date yet, but we will be in early access at some point soon. And so we are just scrambling to get that finished. So day to day, Monday to Friday, that's what that is. And so Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, I'm working on game dev guide stuff. So that includes Cabs of Chaos, which is what we're going to do today. We are going to spend maybe an hour or two just working on the environment. The video I just put out was based on designing the map levels. So let's jump straight into the scene, and we're just gonna hang out. So feel free to say hi, ask some questions. If you're lingering watching, let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of get on with it, and let's just hang out and make some things happen. It's been a little bit of a while. I've been kind of tinkering with this in the background while I've been doing the odd thing here and there. You know, let me just quickly show you what I've been doing. Actually, let's open up Blender. And we have a lot of pieces now that I've added into the game. I've got these like construction things. I've got some various other new props and stuff that I've just been tinkering, because like that's kind of the fun bit, is just sitting in Blender for a bit. I can just like shut my mind off and make props and stuff. That's really enjoyable. I've also got these new fir trees. It took me ages to figure out how to get them to look like fir trees. I think I finally got something that looks quite nice. And these sort of like rose bush things. Turns out if you use a particle system, you can use a particle system to get, and then like attach an object to it, and that sort of is putting things on things. So I managed to get these nice little rose bush type bush things. Anyway, yeah, I've been working on props. Are you getting a salary from that? Hello, Krautku. Are you getting a salary from that development and percent of sales? Both. Yeah, I work full time. So I'm hired by Sondler Studios. I'm the lead engineer on the team, and so a good part of the architecture of the video game is through a lot of the systems that I've designed, and I've been working for them since I moved to Canada, basically. Not long after moving here, maybe about a year and a half, I started working for them, and we've been working on Generation Exile for about 5 years. So they helped me become a citizen, sponsored me to get my permanent residency here. And so now I live in Canada. Yeah, so it should be out in a few months, I think. I don't know when specifically, but we're really excited to have people have their hands on it, and it finally, after 5 years of working on it, be in the public eye, let's say. Scary, but excited. Hello from Thailand. Wow, Thailand, welcome. What time is it down there? Where are you originally from? Europe? Yeah, I'm English. So I moved away at the end of 2019, and then COVID happened, and so my entire like visa for being here was during COVID. So I was like, I didn't really get to see any of Canada, so I guess I'll just stay, and you know, that's that. It's nice having a job in the games industry and getting paid to make a video game for a living, and then just working on all this stuff on the side. So yeah, right. So what we were saying is that so I've built out this little area over here. If you haven't watched this before, I'm basically working on a realizing the block out level of the game. So I made a block out scene initially to playtest the concept of the level design. And let me just turn off this one. And so this is the sort of grey box version of the level. And it was just testing out the sort of moves and space and shortcuts and things like that. And it went down well, I think, in some of the playtests that I did. So I'm kind of just trying to keep to that general design. I've made a few cuts here and there and some changes, but generally this is what I wanted to go with. So if I switch these back over, you can see it's pretty much identical, just bar a few things. And so really that's all we're doing, is we're just sort of bringing real art to life with this now. So that's kind of the goal. So the next spot is, there's one of the hotspots here. So this is the like cinema location. And I might do that, but that needs like actual art. So that's probably just hang out in Blender. I think the bit we're gonna do today actually is this section here, filling out down to that shortcut. Because that's kind of the next bit on the list of things to do, is to just fill out this little area here. We also have everything on this side of the map that we haven't touched yet, so we might do a little bit of work on this leading section to the jump. There should be like a jump off this bridge here, like this. I want to just sort of have a broken piece of bridge that you jump off, which I need to probably make some assets for that, but we're kind of doing things in stages. I'm not doing like a full pass of the level. This is kind of just the first real art pass, and then we'll tweak and change things through playtesting a bit more. If you watch my previous video, a lot of the tools that I've designed for this have been specifically so that I can make sort of adjustments relative to what we're doing, like what the feedback I get from playtests. And so I just need to get this back to a point where I can start playtesting the level again. And that's kind of the goal now in the spare time I have when I'm not making YouTube videos, and wanting to work on some art. So anyway, let's go with, so I know that I quite like the concept of this being a sort of greenery area. Previously you were able to drive on it, but I think it might be better if it's just fenced off, if it's just this like back of a building and it's just their sort of like garden area. I think that would be better. Maybe there's like a shortcut in it or something, I don't know. This is URP. Yeah, it is. I've got some custom rendering stuff on here. My URP script render pipeline video goes into a little bit more detail on that. So I'm like drawing some outlines. It's not working perfectly right now, I need to fix it. But I'm drawing some outlines myself on top of these, because some of these structures need a little bit more. I'm not fully happy with how they look yet. But again, it's just things in stages, so eventually I'll do a visuals pass. I'll probably do some kind of volumetric, like shadowing or something similar. We'll go from there. Fast Wings, hi, what type of game are you building? This is Cabs of Chaos. It is a competitive rideshare racing game where you'll pick up passengers and try to deliver them to their destinations in the fastest and most chaotic ways possible. It's a single player and multiplayer, local multiplayer. There is going to be support for like peer-to-peer, but not online. So like online peer-to-peer, not matchmaking, basically. So you'll be able to play with friends, or split screen. And yeah, we're just in the sort of art pass phase right now. So, okay, right, less talking, more implementing. One thing, one sec, there should be. Okay, let's try that. I did my final university project with games. It's so hard to make video games. It is. It is not as easy as it looks. People think that it's super easy, but yeah, it's hard work. A lot of time and thought goes into it. Okay, right, so let's add oops. Need to add a new surface, so let's grab this one and we'll duplicate that and turn this into grass. Middle, I think it's still middle. It should be. This is insane. Why do I have so many spline points? Probably to make it fit that shape. Okay. Is this locked? It is locked. Let's unlock that. And turn it to grass. Stone grass. Oh yeah! I forgot I made the stone grass texture. I need to use that at some point. This corner needs some work on the road here. Let's see if we can fix that up. Is it just that? I think it's mostly... Or do we pull it back? We might need to put... Move this up more. Yeah, okay. This one's pretty sharp on this end. That's interesting. I really need to improve these tools. I just don't have the time for it right now. Okay, that angle is not fantastic. Let's do that. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with the grass, just the normal grass. I do want to use this one at some point, but it's kind of insane. I think I'd have to make it bigger or do something in the shader to make the tiling better. That'd be pretty good for some kind of yeah, maybe. Oh yeah. Okay. We'll worry about that later. Hey, thank you for watching, Farlex. Have a good night. Thank you for watching from Thailand too. That's wild. It's crazy to me how so many of you are. It's just weird to think. The internet is wild sometimes. Do we go like a little more crazy with the shape of this thing, maybe? Or do we just kind of get it to follow the groove? I might just leave it like that. Kind of fun. It's kind of sticking out a little bit. Maybe not fully. What do we do in the block out? Are you using wheel colliders or a custom vehicle controller? Yeah, so kind of both. I'm doing a combination of Unity physics and custom physics. I want the game to feel a little bit insane, and like I'm leaning into the wacky physics that you get with Unity's physics engine. It's way too hard to make like realistic physics, and so hence all of the cartoony stuff. Like I've made conscious decisions to get away with things. Like I can't do a lot of art, but I can kind of make things look like I can do okay at hard surfaces, right? So picking a lower sort of visual fidelity in the art style helps with some of those things. And just again, yeah, you can get away with certain things based on choices you make, and that's kind of my plan here. So you'll see the physics in action in a minute. I'll drive around to test this sort of stuff. I like to sort of see how it looks in the bigger picture. I will do a video at some point on the physics, like building the controller for the vehicle. I'm just not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet. It may end up just being a deep dive video that I do, or I do something more low key on like a second channel or something. But I'll try and crack open the vehicle controller in a minute. You know, I think we just kind of make this huge. I think the surface is just like big, and we just go with whatever makes sense. We can always change it later. A little grassy knoll. That looks nice. Look at that. Okay. So this is going to be the starting area. This is where like the players will spawn. They'll spawn like 1, 2, 3, 4. So everybody has like the equal distance. I don't want them spawning all over the map. And so I need to make this a nice little ceremony area. I did make... Where are we? I did make this, which I'm really proud of. Which is just 2 poles that I made, and then a spline that's instancing some bunting, and like I can stretch it out and shape the spline so it looks like there's flags coming off of it. That's pretty fun. I mean, like the next step is then to make that all happen automatically based on just like drawing another spline out, but we don't need to do that. I think custom spline distribution. I really like Unity spline tools. It's great. It's really, really good. It's so easy to just like add things to. Unity don't make a lot of good tools, but their spline tools, I still have some qualms with it, but generally pretty good stuff. So, okay, I think this is pretty good. I think this is a good shape. You know, maybe we put a curb around it. So you kind of shouldn't go on it, but you can. Or we put a fence, the sort of fence that you can like smash through. That could work. The problem is a lot of the ones that I have, that's smashable. Like that would be quite funny. Is that one smashable? I think that one is smashable. That also fits a bit better. It's just a little weird. I don't think you would do that. It would be something more like, oh, that one's angled. It would be lower, wouldn't it? Like you would just protect, I mean, who cares? I get to say this at the end of the day. It's my decision, but alternatively, we could put bushes around the outside because you can drive through those. But I don't know if that will look strange. Maybe we try that. Making my own car physics game without wheel colliders because the wheel colliders seem weird. Yeah, they're pretty weird. I don't really understand them either. I kind of just fiddle with settings until I kind of get the response that I want. It may end up being the case that I move towards just custom wheel physics if I really can't get it to feel the way that I want. But the majority of the behavior of the game is, I think, satisfactory. Like, I think the physics are like close enough that I don't know if I'm going to play with them too much. I'll like tweak them, but it's just, I think if I become a perfectionist about how the physics work in this game, I will be here forever making this. And so I think it's just going to be a quirk of the video game. You know, I hope they continue to support it moving forward, the Spline tools. Yeah, from what I can tell, I've had a few interactions with the Spline team, and they're like genuinely really enthused that people are using it. Obviously, I don't know the internals of Unity, but I do know that they are like actively looking at like how people are using the tool. So, but I mean, even in its current iteration, I don't like, I'm getting everything I want out of them. Excuse me, bar maybe like a couple of things. So, you know, even if they just abandon it forever, like it's still great, right? Like I've used this, and basically this entire video game has been designed with splines. I think they're not as performant as I think they could be. That's the only thing I've noticed, is they are pretty heavy sometimes, especially if you have quite a few knots and stuff. A lot of these roads tend to do that, tend to be using lots of sort of connected splines and things, and that's where it kind of loses some steam. But, you know, considering the state that most Unity things are in, like, the spline tool is S tier. It really is. Okay. How about we place some splines? Trees. Maybe we just hand place the trees. I really need to update the trees. The problem is I built them now and they've been placed, so if I update their pivots, they'll just get offset everywhere else. But I really should have set the pivot point to the bottom of the trees. Well, that looks okay. Like the smaller ones. I do think a couple of these firs would look good here. I think maybe even like scaling some of the fir trees up, because they are always pretty big boys. Yeah, I think just hand placing some of these trees is gonna work. Let's pop that out there. You know, a nice little foresty kind of area downtown, like right in the center of the city. I think that'll go well. Oh wow, these are, some of these trees are really small. At the end, do you bake out the geo? That was the initial plan, but this downtown scene ended up being about 1.5 gigabytes in size. Part of that is because I had all of this like block out. I actually had this block out stuff in this downtown scene as a reference, so I removed that and cut the scene out, because like that's just a bunch of procedural geometry from Pro Builder, and then. But what I found was all of the procedural geo that I was building for all of these guys was being saved into the scene file. So what I've actually done, and this was some, like basically it would take me, on my laptop, it would take me about a minute to save the scene. And I started to get fed up with that. As this was growing, it was taking longer and longer to save. And even on this machine, which is a brand new, like, super fast machine, it still was taking like 10 to 15 seconds to save the scene. And it was just because it was such a big scene. So oof, yeah, oof, exactly. What I've done instead is I've built a new, and I did this like 2 or 3 days ago. I've built a new bake system into the editors for a lot of these things. So for instance, this grass that I've made now, right now it's in procedural mode. But if I hit bake, it's now it's like generated a GUID and it's made a mesh for that GUID and popped it in the project. And then if I unlock and regenerate, it will actually just delete that mesh. So the GUID stays the same. And then if I bake it again, it'll put the mesh back in that folder. And so I basically now still have non-destructive, but I'm baking assets when I'm, like all this stuff over here I'm not going to be using for ages. So these are fine to be baked. I'm not really baking the stuff I'm working on immediately, even though I can, as you can see. But that's what I've ended up going with, and it's got the scene down from, this was 1.2 gig. It's now about it's now a couple of 100 meg, I think. So that's a lot better, and it saves a lot faster, which was the goal. So I was really pleased to have done that. It's also why I included the baking to mesh script at the end of the video. I kind of rushed it at the end there, but like it was an important piece to get in so that you could see what I was doing, because otherwise the advice would have been to like just make a bunch of procedural geometry without telling you how to like save it to the project. So that is in the video for that reason. Okay, we do want some of the bushes in here. I think it might just be scattered. I think we just kind of start with like a few trees. This is quite a nice pine tree, fir tree even. Let's pop that up. Oh, let's make a big guy. Okay. The thing is, sightlines are really important, so I've got to make sure that like, yeah, okay. You may want like a smaller one. Maybe like this? Yeah. I think that's okay. They're kind of scattered around. I think that'll look alright. From here. I think it'll look better if I put a building behind it, because I can figure out how to kind of connect this edge up. I think I need a building that's kind of on the end of this. So let's maybe take a look at that. All right, let's grab this guy. So yeah, what happens is, if you watch over here, hopefully, I don't know if you'll be able to see it super well. If I duplicate the asset, see it's changed the GUID. And that is basically checking, we basically have a dictionary of all of the assets in the project. It's just a simple lookup that it does when the object's enabled, if it hasn't got a dictionary yet. And then if two share, it just makes a new GUID for it. And that means we have unique GUIDs for everything. Do we kind of just keep the same? No, I think this should be a brick building. Yeah, I think it should kind of, there should be a couple of, like I think like 2 structures. We don't need any doors. I don't think we want any doors. I think we just want like a fence that goes across here. Like this. Oh, unlock that. Maybe? Kind of come out this way a bit. just like oddly shaped. Hmm. Oh, maybe something like that. Let's just get... Right, like that's not fully extended. So let's grab this. Bring that out to here. That's a little bit better. Okay, yeah, and we can put a fence out here. I don't know how I feel about the sidewalk being... I mean, I don't know, if you walk downtown in North America, sidewalks are cut off everywhere. Pavements. Yeah, bring that up a little bit. Or we just bring the whole thing. I think we bring the whole thing out a bit more. There. So it feels a bit more natural. And then let's get rid of the wavy piece. Make that linear. Actually, let's make these back to linear so they're nice and straight. Let me make this one linear too. Oh no. Yeah, not that one. Oh, actually, I quite like that. A little bit wavy. There we go. That gets the shape I want. Okay. Yeah. Alright, that's looking like something. Okay. Alright, let's update our building here. I actually think we could use these guys all the way around. So that would be K. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't think we've used that one. Nearby, okay. Do we keep the same color? It could be neat that they match. No, I think we'll go for a different color. White. Yellow. Does that work? Oh, let's turn the doors off. I don't hate that, but I think maybe it needs to be brown. Just, it's more unassuming. It's a kind of browny color. Yeah, that's better. Okay. A brown, and then we'll make the accent colors. Oh yeah, that works. And then what I think we'll do is we'll actually make a... that's a good new use of the foundation thing, actually. I hadn't considered that. We can make like a little... midway. Oh. I won't, but we can, which is nice. So I think actually we make like shorter like that. And we turn the foundation off? Oh, we just make it like small. That could work. Hey Adrian, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's lovely. Yeah, I mean, I try. They don't always land how I want them to, but I really do try to make them as, you know, easy to watch as possible. Which, like, you know, when it comes to teaching concepts like this, is not the easiest thing to do. Okay. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, yeah. So it's got like a little bit of an edge here. You can kind of see blending between the two. That worked. Okay. Yeah, so it's just kind of... Oh, I don't know though, maybe... we distribute the windows less. Maybe we should go more random with it at the top. Let's go 1-1 and then have like a 0.35 chance. So we get like a more interesting pattern. It would probably be the other way around, wouldn't it? Okay. I think maybe we just apply that to both of them. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. It just adds a bit of variety. Just because all of these are like pure windows. And that then adds a little bit more. And then we'll put a little wall back there, so that adds a bit more depth. I don't know if I want to block the skyline off that much. Let me see. It's almost better that it's low, isn't it? All right, let me know. Let me know in chat. What do we do? Do we go like this with just the one at that height? Or do we go like that with the second one? Hold on, let me okay. Okay, right. So with or without? Second one was with, right? Make it tall. That was the second. I forgot the second option. I can't remember which order they were. I should have. Someone in chat tell me which one I said. What was option 2? This one, right? There's a delay in the chat, so I was too busy trying to open the scene view to make it clearer. Okay. Ooh. 1 second, my light is playing up for some reason. Do you have any tutorials about addressables and how to use them in real projects? No, I've never used addressables. I don't even really understand them. It's a good topic and it's something I've been considering. Maybe I'll implement them into cabs at some point and spend time figuring them out. But no, I don't really get them. My understanding was that if you were delivering like a live service game or something, that was the point of them, because you can like add new content in, or like a mobile game. I don't really understand how they provide value. Yeah, my knowledge, there's a very big knowledge gap is like what the heck addressables are good for. So feel free to inform me, but the fact that like Unity works without them doesn't, I don't get it. You know what? I'm gonna look up what they are right now, because okay, Unity's manual doesn't seem to be loading properly. That's odd. I wonder why. Huh, weird, okay. Yeah, so it looks like you can like inject assets. That's kind of the purpose of it. Like you can basically add yeah, right. So, oops. Addressables use asynchronous loading to support loading from any location. So it means like, yeah, you can load them remotely, which, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. That seems like it's more of a headache. It's like, I guess you just need to be making a very specific type of game, I think, for that kind of thing to provide more value than time invested into it, right? Yeah, as you said, they can be finicky. It sounds like they're really finicky. So it's very unlikely I'll ever work on a video game where I will find value in those, because they're not the kind of games that I enjoy. Like, this is the closest to a multiplayer game I will ever make. I never, ever want to work on matchmaking. I did briefly. I worked on Crackdown 3's multiplayer UI, and like and I was not on the, I was on the UI, so I was not on the matchmaking side, but I was like needing to interact a little bit with some of the matchmaking code to get the UI to show up. And it was, it just confused me. Like, I don't know. This game is gonna have some, but it's using game objects. It's using netcode. Game objects, just, I've already accepted my fate there. I think you have to be a very special type of person. That seems condescending. You have to be a very like passionate kind of person about networking and stuff. Like, there's a certain type of person that you are that is really into networked games and multiplayer. Like, it's just, I don't know any dev so far that ever says anything like, I'm really excited to work on networking. I am yet to meet one. So yeah, I've heeded the warnings from fellow developers that I've met about how much of a nightmare it can be to try and do matchmaking. So hence why this game will not have matchmaking. It will have multiplayer, and it will be peer-to-peer based. So you will need to like connect to somebody hosting the game and kind of know them. It will sort of be friend based, because that's much easier. It's still a pain, but it's much easier. Rant over about matchmaking and multiplayer games and why I probably will never do addressables. I'm sorry, Senko Games, I'm sorry. am curious if we will end up in a point where like that stuff will get served better, you know? Okay, right. Now we need another building back here. I think we'll give this more of a setback. Like, I think we'll still have the fence, which means we probably need to create a surface that goes back that far. Maybe we just extend this back. I think that's probably fine. Right, and then what we'll do actually is we'll give a gap between them, I think. And then we'll put a building in the background. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay. We may need to make this a separate... I think we'll make a separate surface there. Generally, I don't think you'll be able to see behind it, but... depends how it's going to work from this angle. So I think we'll put a structure there. What was the main distance between these two? Okay, I had like an angled building in the block out. Interesting. And this guy kind of... oh, we had two buildings there. Okay. So maybe we do something like that? I'm not sure. And then there's like a building here. That's fenced off. Wait, I don't know if I'll do that. I think this should be the front of like... I'm probably going to make this all one thing because I like the idea that a cinema is connected. Like this could be a little, not strip mall. I am going to take some extra liberties here. But I think I'm going to try and make this all one kind of promenade, not promenade, what do you want to call it? I don't know. Connection of semi... like row buildings, like the word has escaped me. Anyway, they'll all be connected to each other, I think. And yeah, they'll like curve around probably. That's probably what we'll go with down there. Because I think that'll look better. So let's just work on this guy then. And then yeah, we'll put a building behind it to create a sense of depth. So this one, I think if this one is lower, the building behind it being taller and like taller than both of these will create an interesting layout. So actually, let's make this kind of simple. Are they? Why is that angled so weirdly? We use asset bundles at the company. Asset bundles. Oh, the predecessor to Addressables. Yeah, I remember asset bundles too. That was my understanding. When I worked at Unity, I think they were on that transition between asset bundles to Addressables. And I do remember some of that. I understand the theory, but never really started them. Yeah, I mean, I think probably because they're really complicated to do. This is one of those things where Unity just really dropped the ball on like teaching some of that stuff because it was during the transition phase of them gonna go into IPO. So they just dropped the ball on a lot of that stuff because they were just rushing features out and they just never taught anybody how to use them. So, but yeah, unfortunately, if you're looking for me for mobile focused work, like stuff that's gonna, I don't work in that space. I don't want to work in that space because unfortunately that space is basically glorified casino, like gacha machine, you know? It's glorified gambling with the guise of being a game. And that's no discredit to the developers working on it. That's just what the industry has, like, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know? And I don't want to make games like that. Yeah. You just, you know, it's very hard to sell a game on mobile. And I want to sell a product to a consumer that they buy and then own and get to play. So, unfortunately, you will not see those kind of tutorials from me probably ever. most of the videos that I make come from experience. I don't really like to make content about things I don't understand. I think it's disingenuous. I also think the value of my videos is the experience that I bring to that content. So generally, you're going to be looking at single player, large, like medium to large scale, scalable solutions to things, such as like creative solutions to procedural buildings and level design and tools around that. I work for a casino, got you. I mean, yeah. Thank you for I guess underlining my point, Adrian. I appreciate that, and also I'm sorry. I hope you're getting compensated well for that. I really do. I had never considered my videos being used as an escape, though. That's an interesting thought. It pays the bills. Yeah. Yeah. At what cost? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It does, yes. We all have to do what we need to do to get by. I mean, there's probably a really good experience in there. I shouldn't harp on it too much. Like, there is useful user experience and design methodology that comes from that kind of production environment. I've been adjacent to some of that stuff before, so, and I know people that work on those kind of games, obviously. It's just not for me. All right, let's actually build this building. Ooh, I like that color. Ooh, yeah, okay, that's a nice, yeah, okay, that's good. All right, and then let's pick some windows. I do quite like the mixed distribution. I think we'll actually spread them out on top, though. Oh, on the bottom? Yeah, that works better. Okay. Let's change the roof to that. Yep, that works. Actually, what else do we have? Oh, maybe that one. Yep, okay. And then what windows do we want? J? Maybe do A. Okay. Let's try A. No. I don't like that. Yeah, B, I think. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Okay. Oh, look at this. It's coming together, isn't it? You like how I provide information easily. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I would. I think if I ever end up in that space, I'll keep it in mind and I will make content, but it's very unlikely. When can I expect a demo of your game? Well, the demo of Generation Exile is available, which is the game I'm working on in my full time. A demo of this game will be available when we've done this. We still have, let's have a look. This much left to do of the blocked area. Like this section, this corner. I think, you know, we're about like, I don't know, what's this? Maybe just over half maybe 3/5 of the way there. We got this section and then like the park section over here. Then we got to put all the data back into it. I'd also like to get a couple of extra characters in the game. We have 4 right now. You need 4 to play. Maybe next year? I don't know. It depends how much time I have. I really want to do these streams more regularly. I'm hoping now that life has calmed down a tiny bit, I'll be able to do a few more of these. But yeah, when the level's done and all the content is back in, and I can move from the blockout level to this downtown level and can play test, that's probably when we'll do it. Whether we just do some soft play tests first and build a demo out from there, I don't know. Depends. Not an easy question to answer, unfortunately. Okay, that looks good. So I think we put a wall down now. Let's grab this spline. I'll do that. And pop this. All of you guys need to. Oh wait. Ah, there's other bits in here. This is the. Where's this tree? Oh yeah, that's all that section. Okay, I haven't cleaned up the level. Alright, this is middle right. Where's this tree? Oh, that's all the way over there. Okay. This is top right. Okay. Let's clean this up a little bit first. Alright. So these two are in the top right. Upper right. Let's pop. Oops. That nearly went horribly. Okay, upper right. Pop those in there. These are middle right. Pop those in there. That is middle? No. Is that also middle right? I think so. Oh, this building is in the upper right. Why is that building in upper right? No, it is in middle right, right? Oh, okay, I need to move this. This is in the wrong place. Is this also in there? I may grab things from the wrong place. Upper right. Yeah, okay. Put some stuff in the wrong place. There we go. So then these guys can go into the middle right. And then these trees, there we go, and then middle. Okay, we fixed it. Okay. I lost that spline though, didn't I? Damn. I'm gonna assume it goes right at the bottom. Okay, it does. Good. Right, and then we go spline instantiate. And go back to our props layer. Oh, okay. I quite like that one, I think. Maybe not that color though. All right, which wall do we use? A, B, I like B, C, D, or E? I'm gonna build it out for now. You guys let me know. B or E? Yeah, I think E. Okay. I'm happy with E. I quite like E. Let's stick with E. Do I want to do it like this? I don't know. Oh, yeah, no, I do want to do that because we could put new idea. New idea. Right, we can go like this and then up to there and then do spline instantiate and throw some vegetation in there. Let's go hedge. Oh, yes. Perfect. All right, 33%, 33%, 33%. I hate that you have to do that. I don't know why I can't just like randomly. Okay. And then it's about 2.5? No, 2, just 2? No, 2 is probably good. Right, and then we do that. Yeah. That looks good. That looks really good. All right, it's coming along. Is that spline tool the one you just made a video about or something else? This one, the spline instantiate, is just built into the spline package. The buildings, the one I use for the buildings is the one I just made a video about. And then I have a couple of others built off of similar tech. So I have this one called Spline Surface Builder, which is basically just building a mesh. It's doing very similar, just placing points, and then it's creating verts, and it's drawing a grid. I wrote about it on my Patreon way back when I first made it. It was like a couple of years ago now. And And yeah, it basically makes a grid within the spline, and then like winds based off of the points that it makes. So you can see like there's nice sort of grid things, and if I change the grid distance, you can see it kind of, it might be a little faint to see, but you can see it like changes the scale of the grid that it draws. So basically just makes a plane and then averages the points out, and then ear clips all the way around. It wasn't quite enough to make a video about, but I might do something like that on my second channel. I'm starting a second channel, by the way, for stuff like this that's, you know, I don't quite have enough content here to make a full video about, but I'd still like to talk about it. Yeah, and then the road tool is a variation of the one I made a video about a few years ago. Creating roads with splines, I think it's called. But yeah, this one is the one I haven't really spoken about because it's kind of boring. But I did write about it on Patreon, so. Game Dev. Actually, it's just called Matt Gamble. It's kind of my personal channel that I use to watch YouTube, but I'm going to start putting videos on that, I think, as a side channel that's a bit more just relaxed and like stuff I don't necessarily have to edit as heavily, because you know, main channel videos take a long time. We'll see. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got a few ideas of what I want to put on that. I may end up sort of cutting clips out from these streams as well. But that, I'm not quite sure where those will live. I don't know. I don't want to dilute the main channel, like the Game Dev Guide channel, too much with this stuff, because I think most people are just watching for tutorials. So, right, okay, we are gonna need another building. I still don't know what to do with this edge. I think I might just make a curb. I'll worry about that in a minute. Do we put a building there? Yeah, but it's down, isn't it? Because we have another bridge coming up. We haven't actually built this area yet. Okay. We may just put a fence there? Oh, I don't know. Oh. Okay, let's maybe fix this then. I think that just means I need to fix these roads. Okay. So let's copy these materials. Paste these materials. Okay. Let's do that everywhere. Bottom. Okay, I just need to put this in all of the bottom ones. Why is upper middle? Okay, upper middle, upper left. Upper left. Let's do it in the way that I'm always looking at it. Upper left, upper middle, upper right, middle left, middle middle, middle right. Nope, nope, nope. And then bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right. Okay. Road, bottom middle has a road. Ooh. Okay. My controls have disappeared. Why can't I move? Huh. Am I just getting hundreds of errors? I am. Ugh. Okay. There we go. dark one. Okay, yes, there we go. At least we have the connection. Okay, there we go. That's the bit that I was missing. I wanted to see this bit. Let's select these roads. Paste those into there. And paste these into those is pasted as well. And then one left. Road. Yeah, this is using all my old road logic and my old intersection logic. So let's paste these into here. It's been a while. I don't know why I didn't do this ages ago. It's like finally in the mood for it, in the need for it now. Let's grab the intersection materials and do the intersections for these guys too. So this one is using old intersection data. Grab these intersections. Paste those materials. I will deal with those later. They are balked, but fine for now. And then, okay, it looks like middle doesn't have any. Does it have an intersection? It does. There we go. Paste. And these intersections. Okay, well that's good. I'm not going to like fall off the map as easily anymore, which is what was happening before when I was testing this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good. Right. Well, now we have our actual like play space. So this is going to be the bridge. So let's. Oh no. Yeah. Let's just delete these. This one seems to be kind of balked, so goodbye those, and then goodbye that one. Okay. Road datas. Can we delete that? Yeah, okay. Why is this throwing? There. Okay. Fixed it, right. Cool. There we go. Oh good, we actually have like edges and stuff now. That's better. And then intersection. Paste those. Good. And this one's still broken, I guess. Okay, hooray. Right, we're back to having something worth we can actually play with now. This is good. So, this is our bridge. Which means that, yeah, I think we just have a building like this off the back here. I think that's how that's gonna have to work. Interesting, okay. This also needs to be smaller because I was planning on having a car park, like a multi-story here. I wanted a multi-story that you can kind of like climb up. Maybe I'll move it. It would make more sense to be up here and then you would jump out. In the initial design, I wanted a multi-story car park, which was here. So yeah, I'm eating into that space a little bit more. I kind of took some liberties here, I guess. Maybe I'll just move that idea somewhere else. Maybe close to the park, or just this corner instead. That could work in this corner. Okay. Yeah, I'll have a think about that at some other point in time. Let's get the building down here in. Maybe we need the bridge piece. Okay. We can't really finish this edge, like this corner off, without that geometry in. Because I think it's going to inform how it all kind of comes together. So, let's grab our surface. And there's probably a more elegant way to do this than what I'm doing. I'm definitely not optimizing my tools. Alright, so this is going to be the bridge. And it's going to move... I guess this will move to the... What is this one on? Bottom middle, okay. So... Bottom middle. Okay, that's in there now. Bridge. Wall. And we'll go stone, maybe? I know I have some stone wall. Do I want to use that one? Let's just go with concrete for now. We can zhuzh it up a little bit later. Okay. Linear. Does this work? I remember this breaking if I set all of them to linear, but maybe it's just certain sizes. I think I have the grid distance quite high, so let's set this to 3. Make this small, okay. And then, so basically, what I really need to do is have this thing be able to draw underneath and just have that as a toggle instead. But, oh, do we just do that? Do we just add support for that now? Can we just flip it? It probably would make life easier. Well, yeah, okay. Let's do some actual development. Right. This is probably gonna break everything. So actually, I'm gonna save, and I am going to open plastic and check all my work in. You don't need to see this. I can just do that over here. Okay, that's checked in. Two-sided on the material. No, I actually want to flip the, so we're basically generating sides. I basically want to make it generate upside down itself. Like, there's no point having a surface on both sides, because especially like these ones, like you're never going to want to be underneath them. So that's just wasting geometry. So, and this would be the same because the geometry is covered by the road, right? So, but what I do want to do is, you know, if I want it to be like underground, I would want to see that, but then there would be no need for the top one. But maybe I'll make it an option that you get to, yeah, maybe that's what we do, is we basically say like fill bottom and don't fill top, and do that. I haven't opened this code in a very long time. So the one thing we need to do, we kind of just need to duplicate the top mesh and then move it down and flip it. So where do we, like whatever the final result is, we just want that again and then just flip all the, so is that the outer mesh? Edges. Yeah, I've got to be careful here because I think the concept of edges. Just curious, have you ever tried Rider? If so, how was it compared to Visual Studio? No, you have to pay for Rider. So I'm not interested in using it. I've heard it's better, but you know, Visual Studio is free. And I like it, so. And I'm cheap. If mBuild edge combine meshes, create edge mesh. Okay. Oh, they made it free recently? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Kind of only need to move over to it if I have issues with Visual Studio, but I've been using Visual Studio for my entire development career. I don't see a reason to stop. Maybe if Microsoft do something insane, like make GitHub Copilot or whatever, like force you to use it, but you can turn off a lot of those stuff. Right now, at least. Yeah, okay, so that builds the edges, so we need to do it beforehand, so... Oh, and then we'd have to turn off the top ones? Okay, let's start by... I mean, we could just do it again. I don't need to do all that extra work, though. What's the... There's a few different ways we could do this. I'm trying to think if there's a cheap way we can do it that's going to take like 20 minutes to do rather than like 3 hours, but okay, I think you can clone a mesh, right? Yeah, okay, so let's do under mesh. Let's create a new mesh. Let's do m dot vertices equals, oops, under mesh dot vertices equals m dot vertices. Because then what we can do is we can move it down by the edge height, flip it. Yeah, okay. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I was originally rotating the game object. That's exactly what I was doing, but I'm trying to actually build this into the tool now, so I don't end up with some flipped and some not. That was like what I was doing as the workaround, but it had its own issues. So under mesh is m.verts, and then if we flip the tries in the under mesh, and that should work. Of course. Can you clone a mesh? Because this would be way easier if I just clone it. Instantiate a mesh? Maybe I can instantiate a mesh. Would that work? Ah! Perfect. So we copy and then we flip. And then we combine, right? So let's see if this works. If we do M under mesh, we combine M and the under mesh. Then we have it flipped. I think that will work. Yes. Okay, perfect. Good, right. So let's add a new toggle up here. Oh, good. Okay, this is way easier than I was hoping. So, cool. We should be able to just smash through this now. So private bool M show top surface, and show bottom surface. And then we go true, this is default, that's false by default. And then show bottom surface, we do that. Whereas if m underscore show bottom surface and not m show top surface, we do else if, and we don't need to do anything if we, oh, we should, if m underscore show bottom surface. I think we just do that, basically. Yeah. And I think it's then safe to assume that that means that, in fact, we don't need this bit anymore. If show top surface, otherwise m equals under mesh. And what we'll do is we'll then move that down. Okay. So we don't have that turned on, but if we turn off show top surface and show bottom surface, we now have the bottom surface and not the top surface. Brilliant. Well, that was way easier than I was hoping, and I could have built this a long time ago, and I didn't. I'm a professional game developer. Right. Okay. Then what we actually need to do is do for each for int I equals 0, I is less than vertices dot count on length. Just do undermesh dot vertices I equals plus vector3 dot arb minus vector3 dot arb multiplied by edges. What's it called? Edge height. Height. M edge height. I think that will put it. That's a stupidly expensive operation that I don't need to do that much, but I don't think that worked. That did not work. Key. Is it one of these weird situations where I can't, like... Maybe I have to make them. Okay, this is wasteful, but fine. It's possible that math is not working properly. Under mesh dot set vertices to be new verts. Oop. There we go. Oh, weird. It's weird that that is how that works, but fine. Okay, cool. Good, right, so now we can have a top surface and a bottom surface, which actually I think for this instance I want, because I kind of do want it to extend a little bit beyond the pavement, just in case, just like as the concrete. So it actually kind of looks like poured concrete from both sides. So it should be just below. And I'll bring this up as well. I'll bring that over. Asset store of self-made assets. These are all self-made assets. Actually, if you are a Patreon member, you can download some of them as part of the packages. They are included in many of the packages that I've been releasing over the past few months. Weird, okay. Right, because the road is slightly lower, of course it is. So we kind of need to cheat this surface a little bit by bringing the edges down on top. There we go. I have to do this in like 2 pieces, just because the road itself is a little funky. This may need to be a couple of surfaces like sewn together. Okay, let's do it this way. I think it's gonna be better to make this in like a few different pieces. So we're not trying to stretch across 2 pieces of the road. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Okay, that gets us what we need. That's that edge. Yeah, there you go. And then we will duplicate it. On the other side. That's way too much though. Okay, that's probably good. We can make some additional adjustments later. I think that's fine for now. And then we can add our like final piece in the center, but like bring it down a bit more. And then obviously we don't need the top on this one, so it will just not interfere at all. There. And now, when you're under it, it looks like a bridge. Hooray. Okay. And then we can do the same. This is going to need to come back a bit more though. Because we're going to want a ramp up from this section. Well, maybe that's fine. I mean, you would start a bridge a little bit later. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. All right, we're actually starting to get the shape of the geometry here, which is good. So then we now need to build our little surface underneath. So what I'm actually going to do is duplicate this again and build the like exterior wall. What would you call that? The like surface wall, basically, that's facing the road. Is that more in the center? Okay, like that, and we then don't need the top again. And then we're gonna make that just very tall. Hey, okay, good. Yes, all right, I've got like a thing going now. That there. Now we want some curb to this, but I think it makes sense that, you know, when you have a bridge, there's like less of a, like an underpass, there's like less of a pavement. The one thing I need to add support for in my road tool, which I don't have yet, is each node having its own section of mesh, so I can update the materials in certain places between, so I could put a node there and a node there, and then that would be its own piece of mesh. Reminds me of Midtown Madness. It just needs subway lines. There are subway lines. Look at this. I'm building a legally distinct SkyTrain station. There's 3. There's going to be another platform over there. There's 2 already. We have one over here. And then the one in the middle. And then we have one that's going to go in the park at the end. Ocular Malice, these are custom tools. You go back a few minutes, you'll actually see me editing this one that I'm currently working on. But yeah, or pretty much all of these are custom tools on top of Unity's Spline systems. I think that's good. And then we put a building here. Okay, right, there we go. We've solved the main piece of the problem. Maybe I will put a top. No. We've solved the main piece of the problem that we were combating just now. So pop that there. Grab this guy. Make this corner a little higher, I think. The transitions are always the hardest bits to do in this game. Just transitioning between two different pieces of the level. It's always a little fiddly. I need to spend time talking to some level designers. Next time I go to a conference, I'm going to try and ask a bunch of questions. I really do think the answer to a lot of this stuff is just whatever tool makes the most sense for your video game. But I wonder if there is there's a knowledge base definitely missing on, you know, actually implementing tools. Because I guess it's a threshold of tech art, and there aren't a lot of tech art kind of resources. So, yeah. Cool. I have a city game I'm working on, just using U-Modeler for editing, never any time for custom tools. Yeah, I mean, part of what I was just talking about really is I've designed these custom tools to serve the purpose that I want, to just make the process flexible as it can be. For what I need it to do, you know? And yeah. I think part of it is you just build out this toolbox of things you can do. I think if I had another crack at this, there's some other decisions I would make, other ways I would approach things. But I think people watching the stream can attest to how quickly I can put things together, you know, and I think that was the main goal of a lot of this, was rapid iteration. And again, choosing an art style that lets me get away with a little bit of jank, you know? I don't think this game looks incredible, but I don't think it looks bad, right? I think people will decide whether it's to their taste or not. But I think the key part that I've learned over the years is that it's not necessarily about art being good. It's about art being consistent, right? And obviously it depends on the level of fidelity you're trying to achieve too. So again, I've made a lot of conscious decisions to try and build tools and art and design choices around making this game buildable by me, you know? So then we make this nice and tall, and look, it's part of, and we have a wall here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's doing what we need it to do now, which is nice. Right, and then we have just a wall up here. And actually a little edge like that that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Come on. And I think this building, I'll probably put a surface down here to have, I might put, you know, okay, so let's make this look a little bit more distinct. the texture could be quite nice. Yeah, that verticality is pretty good, isn't it? I think not having it too high so you can see this structure in the background, like that's, yeah, I think that's better. So it's just like the top end. As a self-taught tech artist, there isn't really any tech art resources. Hits hard. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try and talk to some of the people I know, and just, you know, I think if I like a tech art toolbox kind of video, I've been thinking about it more. It's why some of the videos have moved into that sort of tech art space. But like, I struggle as an artist. Like, I'm not an artist, so I don't feel like I am an authority on it, I guess. Like I said, I'm just kind of doing what I can do for my own project. And again, I think as long as it looks consistent, which I think it does, I like, you know, you can be the judge, but I've tried really hard. And again, this is like first pass stuff, right? So obviously this is the worst it's gonna look. But you know, I think it sells. I'm sure if an artist took a pass at this, they'd spot all kinds of problems. But my goal is to just make a really fun game. And so as long as the game looks passable, I'd rather focus on making the video game work, you know? And then maybe if it does well, I'll make a sequel and actually hire an artist. And it will look even better. I think a lot of what I'm going for though is gonna be emphasized with a ton of post-processing work that I need to do, and additional sort of details and stuff. Like there's some volumetric shadow. Like I was looking at some of the Hi-Fi Rush videos, and they had some really clever uses of volumetric spaces to get lighting to look a certain way. So essentially I could override my shader if something was in a certain volume. And that is probably the route that I'll try and go down. So yeah, okay, I'd actually like to put a door down here. So let's turn doors back on. And that's not there. Why? Door distribution, door offset 1. This is probably not the first. Yeah, okay. So where's the door? Come at me, door. Where are you? There you are. Ah, I lost that little corner now, though. That's a shame. Do I want that door? I don't want that door. I want that door. I want 2 of those. Door offset 0. No, door distribution 2. Door offset 1. Max doors 2. Oh no, 0. We want a distribution of 0. Whoops. Oh. 1. Okay, fine. Oh, I can't divide by 0. There we go. And I suppose we just bring this down. There we go. Maybe we bring it forward. Do we give it that kind of footprint? Or set it back? Maybe we just... I try to find logic in my environment building and lean on storytelling to help shape things that make sense. Yeah, I think that's a. I guess it depends on what kind of game you're making, but that makes sense. You know, try not to worry about what others think. Which do I like? Some suggestions I'll consider it, but the main thing is making a fun game rather than technical build. I think these are all wise approaches for sure. Window line on the upper road. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff like this in London. I'll tell you that. Down, like, in big cities and things, you end up with I think I'm gonna, like, I'll end up putting a fence up here. But there's fully... It's a little tricky. I probably could go in and add settings so that certain window distributions exist, but I'm not too worried about that. I can always go through and do that later. I think we'll have a fence that goes along here now. I'm struggling to get my buildings to work with the landscape. Yeah, it's challenging. I will tell you, actually, there's a place in Vancouver that is exactly that. There are university... Let me find it on the map. It is... Vancouver House, I think, is the name of the location. Funnily enough. So... Let me grab the spot in Street View. I guess it would be this spot. Yeah, okay. So here's a good example of exactly what I've just built. So this is University of Canada West, and you can see there are windows pretty much at the top of the bridge here, right? So it just goes straight. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, there's obviously some setback, but it just fully sits on the... I can't get back up there. How did I get down here? There we go. No. Also, there's a chandelier under the bridge. I don't know why. Yeah, and then I think these are also... These are... Oh, it's really... Street View's really annoying with this bridge, because there's a road directly underneath. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, so there you can see there, those are... These are actually apartment buildings, I think. It's kind of crazy. You just need some construction right by that building that is super inconvenient and never gets finished. Yeah. Yeah. There's just an absurd choice that's been made on this bridge too. They've turned this into a no, like, you can't drive straight, you have to turn left here. Problem is, this goes one way. The road that it connects to is a one-way road. So unless you're going straight across it, which you can't because this is no entry, so that turn left off of the bridge puts you back onto the bridge. You can only go this way, and then you have to go back onto the bridge, or I guess you can go down, but like... It's, yeah, it's... I don't know who's designing the cities, but like... There's some insane decisions going on. Granville is peak engineering. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Driving in Vancouver is nuts. Yeah, I try not to. Especially downtown. Okay. Alright, let's finish this up. I think we'll get another building. We'll get another building just to sit in that spot. And then, you know, I might actually just get another surface here. And put that there. It's gonna annoy me. Let's do that. Okay. So then if you're looking at it from underneath, there's just, you know, a wall. Okay, cool. And then we will make a final ground surface here. We'll flip these back over. There we are. Fine for now. I can clean this up a little later. I'm not too worried about it right now. And then we'll just make that a... Oh, yeah, like a slightly lighter concrete color is probably fine. Turn it into a plaza or something a little bit later. There. Okay. Good. Look at that. We have like a nice, we actually have like a nice little area now. And we just got to put some fence along here. Okay, perfect. Is this in the right one? I don't think it is. No. 73. Let's go to the bottom middle. And pop it in there. Good. Damn, now I want this tool for myself. Well, I did make a video on how to do it for the, buildings. That's the last video I've just made, and then I did a little write-up over on Patreon. I don't know if I might have made that free, so you can check that out as to how I did it. But it's pretty straightforward. If you jump into the Discord, I'll send you the Spline Surface Builder script. I'm happy to share that. But yeah, it's great. I really like it. This is probably the most valuable script I've ever made, just to be able to like turn splines into surfaces. Just makes a lot of building the geometry out really like easy, I suppose. Cool. Okay. Okay. And then I'll just duplicate this building. I think this one can actually be just down. I kind of like it being a bit of an extension of this. Yeah, why don't we do this? Why don't we just stretch this out? I think it will be separate. We'll make a different color. Maybe we do 3 and we do 3 doors. And so it's like a few different storefronts or something. Change the roof color to black or whatever that is. And brown brick. Yes, and then we'll separate out the base wall. Which I think we'll go back to fixed windows. And then we'll change the top window. We'll make the bottom windows bigger. Like single glass. That, yeah. And then the top windows. Triple panes? Maybe? No. Those ones work for like skyscrapers. Maybe one of the trims. Oh, this works well down there. I think that actually we want simple windows up there. Maybe E? Yeah, that's it. It's that one. Okay. And then actually we... I don't want that level of distribution. I think I'm also going to see if I can get rid of the ones on the edge. That do what I want to do. That does, okay. Maybe we set the top distribution to 3. I don't know. Base distribution to 3. Yeah, just like kind of no windows under the... And then let's make a separate... Actually, I think concrete with that would work well. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Excellent. Right. Okay. We can flesh that out some other time. I think that's fine for now. Considering the aim of this was just doing this little area here. Little roof access eventually. Alright, let's make the final spline here, finish this off, and then maybe we push... I do think a little curb that goes all the way around would be good. I think I'm gonna have to make a separate spline for that, so. Okay, let's go like that. And then spline instantiate. And we go for props. I think a fence, right? Like that? Yeah, that's what it is. A black fence like that would work really well, I think. Oh, look at that. It comes together. Look at that. Okay. Okay. Come on. That's pretty good. We've done some good work here today. Little park area. That's pretty good, I think. We just need to, you know, hide this little bit. With something. I don't know what. Okay, these guys can go in the middle. Probably just like another fence or something. I might just stretch this out, maybe. Or just something like that. And we'll put a barrier up here so you just won't even know that exists. I think that's probably it. And then bush, rock. Oh, it's kind of small. We have a boulder. Yeah. And then another one. There we go. Just build the fence through the border? Yeah, okay. I saw some of the older videos on the game, and no offense, but isn't this just a modern version of Crazy Taxi? Yeah, it is inspired by Crazy Taxi, Simpsons Road Rage, a few other games. Imagine if it was a Saturday morning cartoon. That's basically how I'm thinking of it. It's a more sort of competitive aspect of that genre. So I think there will be, you know, the core game loop, I suppose, will have its likeness to that, but I've got a few tricks up my sleeve that I think are going to make it have a little bit more longevity and a little bit more unique. But no, it's fully definitely one of the inspirations behind this. Another is, and I would say it's probably a closer one because that actually had multiplayer that I'm kind of trying to replicate the feeling of, was Simpsons Road Rage, not Hit and Run, Road Rage. And yeah, part of the joy in this is that it's going to be a 4-player race, sort of free-for-all race. I've got a few different game mode ideas. Basically, think like old school, like couch co-op games mixed, like arcade games, arena shooter kind of games mixed with Crazy Taxi. That's sort of, there's not gonna be weapons in this, but I'm taking some inspiration, like having game modes and things like that is part of the plan here. The you versus 3 other people aspect is sort of the bit that makes it interesting. Even the thing, like there will probably be a classic arcade mode that is just you on your own, but the core loop is this chaos mode, where you will be racing against 3 other people, either like bots or other players, and the goal is to try and score against them. So you'll hit into them to steal the passengers. But yeah, I kind of just wanted something fun that I could play with my friends, and I really loved Simpsons Road Rage. I thought it was so much fun, but you know, it's aged a bit now. Right, okay, well, that's that bit done. Let's add the curb. I mean, I could put other details in here. I think that's like a detailing pass thing. This kind of does as much as it needs to right now, I think. So I'm gonna put a curb down, and I think that's probably then it for this stream, because we've been going for a while. Where are the curbs? Do I have them in here? I might not actually have saved them as prefabs. I can't remember what I called them. I don't think I do. I have all the old ones. Huh. Yeah, I don't have them saved as prefabs. Okay. Oh, that's fine. Let's make these prefabs then and put them in my little props folder. Add a collider and make this prefab. PF_curb 01A. Pop that in there and find it. Make a variant. And change the and make C. Rename this to C. And duplicate that and make this D. And turn this to D. Oh, the white one could work. Okay. Let's try that. Oh, I like the white. Oh, I really like the white. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. This is such an unnecessary detail at this stage. Sometimes you just gotta do that. You just gotta make bits because it makes you feel good when you're developing, and you want to keep going. Little bits of niceness here and there keeps it manageable. Oh, this corner's gonna suck for this thing. Okay, so we need to go over there. And then we need to like slowly, we may have to make it separate. Oh. May look okay. Well, it looks okay. Alright. It helps keep the sadness away. It does help keep the sadness away. Okay. Let's throw that to there. Oh, well, we'll put it there and then we'll correct the curve. Now I just can't make any changes to that grass surface, otherwise it's going to just knock all of that out of sync. Which is kind of why I shouldn't have done that yet, but... Oh, look, doesn't it look so much nicer when there's just like a little curb there? It's crazy how much of a difference that makes. That's the sort of detailing that I think I'll have to do a little later. Again, it's just sort of transitions, right? I don't know if I go high with it. So it's like up and on both sides. That's probably too aggressive. I think the low version of it is fine. And then I think that's pretty good, you know? No, I think I'll put a fence here. Should we put a portaloo in the park? How would scaffolding look up there? That wouldn't really work. Okay, I think that's probably it. I think that finishes off this sort of middle section, which is great. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, damn. Okay. Yep. I need to make all of those meshes drivable. Ground. Make all of them ground. Just make all of the bottom ground for now. Fix those later. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. That's great. And you can go up the curb. It like messes with you a little bit, but yeah, okay. I'm happy with that. Oh, that's gonna be such a cool shortcut area. Yeah, okay. This is great. Like, part of the design of this is having places to kind of hide. You know, the game is, it's a little bit high. It has, in playtest, there were like elements of playing hide and seek when you knew somebody was coming and you wanted to sneak up on them. You could sort of hide somewhere and like pop out and attack them. And that just added a little bit of tension. You know, I'm really leaning into the namesake of the video game. Yeah, there's the odd physics things there. I think most of that is because I'm using the convex mesh on the like collider on the vehicle, and so like every now and then it just catches it wrong. But there might be some work I can do to mitigate those kind of impacts. Like, one of the things I did was this collide and slide. So default Unity physics, if you hit stuff, you just kind of get stuck. Whereas if you see, it's kind of like, I mean, and it's not perfect, but now I like, if I hit at a certain angle, I bounce off of it. I force myself, like I basically, you hit at it exactly at 90 degrees, the game kind of freaks out, unfortunately. But if you see here, if I hit it, it just is pushing me away. And that's part of the custom physics that I've added. So you don't really ever get stuck on, like you can, I think, if the odd chance you get stuck on things, but if most of the time you can like mitigate out, like get yourself out of weird situations and you just bounce off stuff, right? Like that's a win in my book. So you can kind of just keep holding forward and eventually, you know, you go the way that you want to go. You're just bouncing off stuff like a little bumper car. That's custom on top of the vehicle controller. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, I enjoy driving around this, smashing into stuff. Oh, there's no physics on that. Okay. You will be able, like, yeah, there will be situations like this where you just get stuck. And there's just going to be a reset button that'll snap you back to where, like, the closest point on the nav mesh where you'll be. And I think I'm fine with that as a way to get around it. Again, like, I kind of want to lean into the jank. So obviously it can't feel wrong, but if it's a little bit janky, I'm okay with that. I think if the game is fun, like, that's all I care about. So many games on like, or so many people get worried about like perfection in physics or whatever, but I think, I don't know, if the physics are getting in the way of people enjoying the game, then it's a problem, right? Like if they're like, oh, I just physically cannot control this thing because the physics suck, then, you know, that's a point to address. But if it's like, it's a little bit janky sometimes, I would hope that that becomes part of the charm. But yeah, anyway, I think we've pretty much got this middle section finished now, which is great. So thank you for hanging out with me today and helping me complete this. At the start of the stream, we did not have this central piece. We now have it. So Bethesda proves that that can work. Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah, it's very good observation. So, okay, yeah, all right, well, I think we'll leave this here for today. Thank you so much for joining and watching this stream. Again, it's been a while, so I appreciate you coming to hang out with me for this sort of random one. And yeah, hopefully we'll have more again in the future. I want to try and do one at least once a month. Ideally more if I have the time. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, please leave a comment and let me know and hit like on the stream. And let me know what else you want to see. I do want to do a stream in the future where we play some of your games. So if that's something you'd like to see, let me know. Or demos or something like that, and we like review them live. I think that would be fun, just to take a break from the dev streams. But as far as this goes, I definitely want to keep doing some of these level design streams because they're fun to hang out with you guys and get some work done. So yeah, there is a new video coming in a few weeks. I've got something else. It's actually skybox related to sort of show how I made these custom skyboxes. So look forward to that if I don't stream between now and then. And if you're not subscribed and you want to see more of these streams, then hit subscribe. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.